Hi everyone, a very warm welcome back to MEC-TEC. As you can see, we're back on the workbench on the Reliant engine, and in the end of the last video you would have seen that the starter motor stopped us dead in our tracks. We could not go any further. I couldn't get it running as much as I wanted to, and I'm sure you all wanted to see it run in the last video as well. We couldn't because of that dodgy starter motor. So I'm going to send you back in time to past me. We're going to carry on from where we left off at the end of the last video. Let's see if we can do something about getting this running. Right, look at this. We have got a brand spanking new starter for the Reliant engine. This is from Steve at Dinky Cars. Big shout out to you again for helping me out. Look at that. This is a brand new unit, not a recon unit, and hopefully that should see us good for many years to come. This is the same part that he uses on all of his engine rebuilds, so fingers crossed it'll be of good quality. He's never had one fail, and if they have any problems with them any time, they always change it for a new one. So that is why I went for this particular one. So that is absolutely superb. So let's get this fitted on the engine and see how it turns over. Right, you ain't going to believe this. Well, you probably will because it's me you're watching, but anyway, I've just gone to try and fit the new starter, and the holes are further apart on the new starter than they are on my plate. Same problem as I had with that starter down there. I've just checked, I've got 3 of these plates, and out of the 3, this numpty picked the only one that's got the holes closer together. So I can only assume that that one is off of a 700 or a 750. 700 it would have been. So yeah, so I've now got to take that plate back off again, which isn't a great problem, and refurb one of these ones. Now this one's got a lug missing off of it, so that leaves me with this one, which is probably the most grimy one out of the 2, which is a bit of a shame, but still. So now I've got to refurb that one. I possibly could have used that starter down there, but when I spun it up and it came to a stop, the bearings were making a hell of a squealing noise, so I wasn't that impressed with the condition of that one either, to be honest with you. So I'm quite glad I've got the new one. I'm going to stick with the new one because obviously then I know it's okay, in theory, fingers crossed. So I need to get this plate cleaned up, repainted the same grey. The new grey paint, luckily enough, has turned up. So what I'll do is, while I'm painting this, I'll try and get that rocker cover back off, clean all that up at the same time, and give that the same treatment, so that at least all the paintwork on it is done then, and we should be hopefully then ready to wriggle this starter motor back up and get it spinning over, hopefully nice and fast with any luck. Let's carry on. Right, I've got this all cleaned up and wire brushed, looking absolutely marvellous, and as you can see, I've masked up these 3 areas this time so that I haven't got to use the belt sander to grind those areas back off. So when it bolts to the block, it will get a good earth through these 3 points, because obviously the bolt and washer will be pushing on this side where the bare metal is, and then that will go straight through the hole to the block itself. So that should be absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to get some etch primer on this now, and then only a little light coat of etch primer, and then some grey high temperature paint and lacquer, and hopefully we should be back in business. Right, this is going to be first try with a new starter motor. I've got an earth lead via a jump lead hooked up to this battery, and I've actually connected a proper I know it's black, it's a proper battery lead from the starter motor. I'm going to touch it on the positive terminal, get out of your way so you can see, and hopefully this will turn it over a lot better. Yes! That is what I wanted to hear. That proves that my engine's not too tight. Thank goodness for that, because I thought it was my engine that was going to be no good for a minute. So that is absolutely superb. At least now we've got a decent starter motor, and we've got a plate that fits it as well. So obviously I've put that plate on now. That's the correct one. And I've put the flywheel on. I've changed the centre bush over in the middle there because the other one was a bit manky. And I've also put the locking tab washer on as well, so I can lock that down. Once I'm happy that the engine's running all right, I can then do a final torque on those bolts and put those tabs down so that it's locked on there for good then. Top banana. Right, as you can see, I have rigged up this ignition system down here with a coil, some wires to the battery, jump leads, all the rest of it, and I've got one of the leads off with a spare spark plug in it, and we're going to test to see if this has got spark. So you're going to be looking there. Let me zoom you in, and hopefully you'll be able to see it spark. If it does, that is. Right, you're looking, okay, you're looking just obviously there on the left hand side of the screen here. Let's dab this on here and see if it sparks. Get my hand out of the way of the flywheel. Ready? Yeah, look at that. Don't know if you can see that on camera, but that is a lovely healthy spark we've got there. So that is absolutely superb. Right, I'm going to unplug that lead off that coil to deactivate that for a minute, otherwise I'm going to end up shocking myself. Let's put that back on there. Right, so now all we need is some fuel. So I need to go and get some fuel because I really want to see this run now. Come back to you in a minute. Right, I've got a fuel line hooked up here. It is clear, so we can see the fuel pump up now. I have pumped it up to just there, so you didn't have to wait for me cranking it over. But I'm hoping that this possibly may start up. So let me just move the camera over a bit, because otherwise it's going to be right in where you're going to want to be. I'm going to want to be, rather, I should say, and you won't be able to see anything. So let's put you there. See what this does. Fingers crossed. Everything crossed, in fact. Right. One thing I've got a problem with is the oil gauge sender. It's not got a switch on this engine. It's got an actual sender to go to a gauge. I'm trying to clamp it off with a bit of hose, but the oil pressure's that good that it's pushing past it. So let's try and get a better pair of grips on that. See if we can get that to shut off. Oh, and now my fuel lines come out. So it's all going horribly wrong. Part of the fun. Right, let's leave that there. Hopefully that won't come out of there now. Let's put our fuel back in before it goes everywhere. I'm going to have to reprime this again now, which is a shame, but still. Right. Right, we've got fuel up there now, but I don't know obviously whether the timing's not quite right or not getting anything on it. So let's try moving the distributor and see. I'll try again. Nothing at the moment. Have we lost spark? That's the question. We did have spark before. What have I not connected? That's connected to that. That's connected to that. That's connected to that. So we should have spark. Oh, went to go then. Oh, what's happening? We lost earth. We're not connecting. Why we're not connecting? This cable might not be very good that I'm using, you see. It's an old one that I found in a box, so. Why is that not working now? Come on. It was working a second ago. What's happened? Got a little backfire at the carb then, so timing may be a bit off. It's this jump lead that's dodgy. It's this jump lead. Right, okay, we need to change that. Let me get another cable. I'll rejig this to get a better jump lead onto this. See if we can get a better earth, because I think that's the problem, and I'll come back to you in a second. Right, I've reset this back up again. Let's see if we can get it to go. It has tried to pop off, but not much. I think that's the accelerator. That's choke. It's trying. timing's out. Obviously I can't really set the time at the moment because it's not running, if that makes sense. So I'm doing it purely by luck, chance. He's really trying to go. What's this motor getting? That's alright. Getting a bit of backfire out of this carb. Vapor locking now. So close. Why does it not want to go? What am I missing? Come on. What am I missing? I'm guessing that's a bit of a vacuum leak on there. Finger over that. Really trying to go. So close. So close. What am I doing wrong? Well, I'm going to do a little bit of investigation into this and I'll come back to you in a second. Right, having had a quick look at this and an old video of it running, I had two of these leads ran the wrong way. So I'm going to try again and see what it does. Oil is hot. I'm just going to touch it on there for now and see what happens. Oh, that sounded better. Sounded better. Hey! First run! Oh yes! I've cut it off because I didn't want it to run away. That is awesome. Right, now let's try that again. Come on, don't mess me about now. Just did it. cut it out. That is really good. Sounds good as well. Oops, didn't let the motor stop. Bit of choke. Come on. Well, I know now. Got to just keep the hand on that throttle. I am well chuffed. My first engine rebuild ever, completely engine rebuild, and it actually runs. How about that? Stranger things have happened, eh? But that is mega. Leave it going too long because I've got no coolant, but there you go. It runs! Hey! Right then, it is the next day, as you can see outside, and I am still mega happy of how this engine ran last night. So I'm not going to do any more to this right now, apart from we're going to take the airbox off, give that a clean up, get that painted grey. The grey paint, as I say, is now here, so I can get that done. And we need to get a thermostat in here, which I've got on order at the moment, so that when that gets here we can bolt that on and put the cover on there, and then that will be the engine as far as parts complete. I also need to torque up the rear flywheel on it, make sure that that's all right, and then I need to look at what clutches I've got, because I've got about 2 or 3 clutches that all look in very good condition. So rather than buying a new one and spending 100 quid for no reason, I think I may use one of the ones I've got, because they're a decent make and they look absolutely fine. So yeah, so that's going to be the next step. We're going to get this back off. I didn't RTV this purposely because I knew I was going to take it back off again to obviously paint it. Now we know the engine runs. Still can't believe that. I can sort that out, and then after that we need to move on. I need to put this aside and move on to the gearbox and sort the gearbox out, because I have got a gearbox for it. We've got to give it a good old clean up, change any seals on it that need changing, and also got to do a modification to it to make it work with the Regal clutch pedal setup, if that makes sense, because it is a different setup to the Robin one. I'll explain more about that when we've got the gearbox in front of you, so I can show you. I've actually got a 700 gearbox as well, which I can show you what it should be like compared to the 850 box, what that's like, and what we've got to change on it. So that is going to be the next few steps. We are progressing well. Hell yeah, top banana. Right, after wire brushing that up, I've got a coat of cure rust on it now, just to obviously aid any scabbiness that was on there. It was a little bit scabby in places, so obviously I've buzzed most of it off, but I wanted to make sure it hopefully won't come back. So we'll let that go off, and then we can give it a nice coat of that grey and get it back on the engine. Lovely jubbly. There we go, that is the rocker cover all nice and painted. It's had, I think, 3 coats of grey and 1 coat of the high heat lacquer. So that is good to have the gasket now glued onto the bottom of there with a bit of RTV, and obviously we'll get that on the engine and that will finish that bit of it off. Still waiting on the thermostat at the moment, so as soon as it gets here we'll get that fitted in there as well. I've got a new housing there for it, so that can go on as well. So we are slowly but surely getting there. Lovely jubbly. Right, final job on the engine for the minute anyway is a nice new thermostat. Now I had 2 thermostats, one new, one old, and neither of them worked. So I ordered a new Balkan Beck one, so hopefully that one should be good to go. So we need to get some, in fact I may go and test this in a minute just to make sure, put it in a cup of boiling water just to make sure that it's all right and it works and moves. I've got a new gasket there obviously, which goes on here, whichever way around it goes. There we go, like that. I'm going to put some RTV on there as well just to make sure that it's double sealed. I think that actually goes on after that, because that's got a little recess that sits in there like that, and then that goes on there after like that. Then we can get that all sealed on with the housing, and that should be jobs are good. And so I'm just going to go and check that thermostat's working all right. Get a boiling cup of water, and I'll show you actually, and just show you what it does obviously when it gets hot, and then we know it's all right for when it goes in the engine. Then I'll get set up and I'll come back to you. Right, we've got a glass of water here, as you can see, which is boiling. Mrs. MEC-TEC's jug, don't tell her. It's a brand new part, so it'll be fine. I'm going to drop that in there, and you should hopefully see it open with any luck. Give it a minute. Can't see anything moving at the moment. That's interesting. Would have thought you'd have seen more move than that. Maybe it's because of the glass is distorting the view of it slightly. No, it's not. Would have thought you'd been able to see that. Interesting. Okay, well, that is a new thermostat, so I'm assuming it's working, but I can't actually see anything open on it, which is strange. Right, I didn't have the water hot enough. So you can see in there now, the thermostat is open right up. There's a gap right the way through it. In fact, I'll just steam the camera up. There we go. You can see there's a gap right in there now. So that is working absolutely lovely. So at least now we know that we can actually, wrong one. We can actually get the thermostat in the engine, and we know it's going to work all right. So that is absolutely superb. I just want to see. It's probably going to take a little while to cool down, but you can see there's a gap through there because you can see the water through with all the little bubbles. So, yep, top banana. Let's carry on. There we go, that is the final job on the engine for now. Thermostat and housing is now on, sealed down, absolutely top banana. Well chuffed with the way that's come out. So yeah, next thing we need to look at, which is probably going to be in the next video, is going to be the gearbox. Right then, that is going to be it for this episode on MEC-TEC. As you can see, I have started playing with the gearboxes. That is going to be in the next video for the Reliant, most probably. I'm so chuffed that engine works. I can't believe a numpty like me has managed to build a complete engine and it actually runs. So that is absolutely superb. I'm well chuffed. If you do like Reliant stuff, you want to stay tuned to the channel. In the near future, I'm going to have something pretty special coming to the channel. It is going to be a total unique vehicle, one of one. So it should be pretty good. And if you like that sort of stuff, then as I say, make sure you hit that subscribe button down there and ring the little notification bell. That will tell you every time I upload a video. I have got Instagram, MEC_TEC1985, and I have got Facebook, MEC-TEC, for little sneak peeks during the week of what I'm up to. There may be a few clues here and there of what is coming to the channel too, which is, keep an eye out for that. And all that's left for me to say is if you want to join me soon for more automotive adventures, I'll see you again next time. Cheers guys.